Hi everybody and welcome to Art at Home Week 6. It's Mrs. Bojack, and if you look behind me you're going to notice some very strange looking portraits, and they are the four seasons: spring, summer, autumn, and winter. They are paintings that are done by a very famous artist who lived a long time ago during the Renaissance in the 1500s. That's 500 years ago. His name was Giuseppe Arcimboldo. Arcimboldo was an Italian guy who was appointed by the court, that'd be like the royal court, by the Emperor Maximilian II to paint all of the plants and the animals and the flowers of the time. The thing was that Arcimboldo was a little bored with painting just animals and just plants, so he painted these four seasons as a present to give to Maximilian II. And the emperor was delighted to receive them. And so Arcimboldo continued to paint these very unusual faces. Now today we're not going to be painting our faces in his style, but we're going to be creating them using something in art called an assemblage. And now an assemblage is a collage, but you're not using paper. You are going to assemble all kinds of objects and make them into a face or into an animal. Now, if you have a lot of fruits and vegetables and things that your parents don't mind you using for this project, you can ask them first, and then you can create your own kind of portrait or animal on the kitchen table or kitchen counter, but make sure you put everything back when you're done. If you don't have a lot of fruits and vegetables and you're thinking, I'd like to use something else, well, you could really use the bits and pieces from games that you might play, like chess or checkers. If you like to do Legos and build things out of erector sets and jigsaw puzzles, you are welcome to use those bits and pieces too. Or maybe you just have a lot of stuffed animals, or you have a lot of little toys and you're thinking, wow, I have lots of these. I could make something with those. Today is a day to be really creative. So the first thing you have to do is go around the house or outside in your yard and find some very interesting materials that you can use to make your portrait. Design it, take a picture of it, and you can share it with me. And I love to see how creative you can be today. So stick around and I will show you some samples that I've done both outside in my yard and also inside in my studio. And let's do some art.
Hey everybody, so I decided to start outside today for this first artwork because Arcimboldo liked to use objects from nature. So you can see that I've got some pieces of wood from our wood pile. I've got some evergreen branches, some dried oak leaves, some twigs and sticks, and a pine cone. Now I'm going to try to work this into a portrait of a person. So what you'll need to do is just kind of arrange them into the shape that you like. And there I have a kind of a colonial fella smoking a pipe. We're going to be making one of Arcimboldo's famous paintings that he makes using all fruits and vegetables, like this one, which is summertime. And we have a good selection here, and I'm sure you might have too. If you are wanting to use food, you can. Just make sure you check with Mom and Dad first to make sure that you're allowed to. And I would do this in your kitchen. What I started with were 2 pieces of computer paper, just so you have a nice backdrop. But you can use any paper you want, even your kitchen table or counter. For pupils, I usually use raisins. Now for a hair or beard, you may want to use lettuce or spinach. I chose some linguine, which Arcimboldo would have liked because he's Italian. So he would have liked some linguine. And then if you could take a photo of it and send it to me if you like. I would love to see your Arcimboldo portraits. Now, if you don't want to work with food or with things from nature, the great thing about this project is that you can use anything that you have laying around the house, perhaps a game board. If I add a couple of Tinker Toy eyeballs and the chess piece, and you've got another interesting portrait made from everyday materials. And some other found materials that I had tucked away from when my son was little are all of his Hot Wheel cars. And I decided to give it a little more color, so I did them in rainbow order. And then I went through his old Lego sets and erector sets and found a couple of extra wheels for eyes. I'm not sure what that is. Makes a nice nose. A couple of eyebrows, a nice mouth. And another really interesting artwork made from found materials.